It's showtime.
Hello! We're starting off with a loud hype. Anyway, hello and welcome to episode 7 of the Neitherworld podcast. Netherworld. Neitherworld for emphasis on spelling. We're gonna say this every time. I am Ben, and I am joined as always by my co-hosts
Matty,
Harry,
Charlie.
This week we have another guest, so would you like to introduce yourself and tell us something about you?
Hi, I'm Melody, better known as Lawrence Shaggoth on TechTalk, and I overload in serotonin when I see my favourite penguin cosplayer.
Oh my god, I know what you mean. I know exactly who you mean. Okay, very quick side thing. I am very attracted to Robin Lord Taylor, who plays the Penguin in Gotham.
Yes.
And so the fact that this cosplayer looks exactly like him, and I'm like, don't do this. Don't do this. Stop. Be quiet. Anyway, shout out to them. What if you can find their at? We will gladly give them a shout out because I can't remember what they. Peak.
It's like Bird of Gotham or something.
I haven't seen I genuinely started trying to watch it because I heard that there was like gay chemistry between Edward Nygma and Oswald, but I think it's just people wishful thinking, and then I just got bored. But I probably started again because I'm sure it's good in its own right. But you know, anyway, Charlie.
Back on track. So first up this week we have the Deets, and as expected it's lockdown still and our discussion can be limited. We still managed to keep talking for about an hour every week, so it's fine, it's all right. But a little bit of Broadway news that was announced, I think it was last week actually, because we forget we couldn't record last week.
We had a week off.
Yeah,
Give us a break.
But Broadway has announced that it will be shut until September now, which really sucks for everyone in America, and we don't know how long the West End could be shut for. Yeah, so what's everyone feeling about this?
They're doing the West End in like increments of whenever. I mean, because also everybody's dealing with that of like Boris is like, go outside, don't go outside, go to work, don't go to work. Sorry, Matt Lakers. Of how just like, you know, it's just being updated with the updates. Like his original thing as well for theatre people and like self-employed was such BS of like, oh, you know, we suggest that you close restaurants and theatres, when in actuality he needs to like give an order so that they can get insurance money out of it. So like from the, I mean, as well as he's a dick, and like I'm not sure he's really prioritizing the arts. So we're not. That's one of the like last things we're hearing about. But so like the theatres are trying to be hopeful, but mainly it's just like being updated like in 3-month increments in the West End. I'm sure it's, you know, it's not going to open before September either on the West End, but theatre's definitely going to be like the last thing to come back, which is shitty for like all theatre lovers and performers and everybody. But you know.
Yeah, the main thing I've been seeing around a lot that obviously not everyone who listens to this podcast has their own income and things like that and don't have disposable income. It's completely fine. But the thing I've been seeing a lot is there's a lot of theatres that are going under at the moment because of this.
Yes.
So I would urge, if anyone has a theatre that they love particularly, maybe their local one or one that they have really good memories with, try and see if they have a donation page. And if you have any kind of money, if you're going to go see a show there and you can't because of lockdown or anything like that, see if you can donate a bit, because I know that they're all really struggling. They do need funds. It's getting really tricky. Again, absolutely no pressure at all, because I'm fully aware not everyone has income at the moment. But if anyone can, then please. It's
exactly
really tricky.
Preach that. That's so true.
The thing that struck me about this announcement is we were talking a few weeks ago about it opening literally the day after Beetlejuice was supposed to shut. It doesn't feel as bad now.
Yeah.
Because it's not doing that. So it feels a little better. Because while complaining, like, if it does open the day after, that would be such a kick.
Yeah,
and
that
you
would
can't really do that. But we're okay now. We're okay. We still have to say goodbye to it in the Winter Garden, but...
Yeah. Isn't there talk that now Music Man won't open because of it?
Ooh.
Mm.
Because they don't have time to rehearse Music Man to then be in the theatre when it's meant to start.
Yeah, which I guess like
things like this, which is.
Well, do you think? Well, what do you think? Because it's very difficult as well for a theatre, not only for people to like pay to be in a theatre, right, to have the income to sell the seats, but because Beetlejuice is guaranteed pretty much, especially after lockdown, like people are gonna go and see that shit. So like, I mean, it's closed now officially, right? But if the Magic Man, that would be way more fun. I'd watch that musical. The Music Man.
Yeah.
Is not going to open. They, it's shit for the Schubert organization to just have an empty theatre, especially after a time where there's been no theatre. So they've already got like no income from people. I mean, I don't know how the rent is working if you still have to pay rent on the theatre, even though Beetlejuice has left. Probably not. So that's difficult as well because they still have to pay rent. No shows going in, no income, and if they have to continue to do that after lockdown has ended, then they may just be like, "Hi, Beetlejuice, sorry we kicked you out. Do you think maybe please we could have you back?" And it's like maybe they'll because Music Man can't come. Maybe I don't know.
Maybe, just maybe.
It's mental illness, isn't it?
But no, it could, and I think the thing at the moment is just not to kind of pounce on that. I know that when they announced that Frozen was closing, a lot of fans pounced, being like, "Oh, maybe Beetlejuice could take over that theatre," which yes, but also it's really sad for the people who are fans of Frozen. I know obviously Beetlejuice has quite a solid, dedicated fan base, but Frozen is also massive. So I'm sure there are loads of fans out there at the same kind of level as us for Frozen that are absolutely devastated right now, especially because it came completely out of left field. The idea that a Disney show would close is one that I doubt many people thought about.
Yeah, I mean, because also I think my friend works at Frozen, so now she's out of a job, which is weird. Which is also probably a weirder feeling than the people who were just like postponed at their job, because then it's just like, oh well, after this is over, not only are people out of a job, but I'm also out of it currently. Like you can't. But it's so weird because but like Disney is something people wouldn't expect. But also from the beginning, I was not super encouraging people being like hating on Music Man as a production or to the cast. Like I have nothing against the show, I don't know much about it, or to immediately be like hate the Music Man in general rather than just hate the situation, and pouncing on Frozen being like, oh, Beetlejuice could go there, that's a little bit like, oh okay, give him a minute. But it's such a shame. Like Thriller has closed in the West End. I'm not mad about that, to be honest. Probably not the best time to have a Michael Jackson musical. So I was just like, you know what? If anything's gonna go, that's fine. But yeah, it's scary because as a theatre person and also as everybody knows, like I have a lot of friends that are working, or then it's a weird time when you're just in this weird limbo, especially when we're not even getting as concrete stuff as like September, which not even as concrete, but just like very little by little, like hope or false hope, or just very little information all the time, feeling a bit discarded. Not
I think the tricky thing as well is obviously while the theatres, yes, it's them having a show, them not having a show, different rent and thing, but if a theatre doesn't have a show to then open up to, so like for Thriller, yes, okay, fair enough, it couldn't afford to stay there, but that theatre is going to suffer because there's not going to be any show to fill it because they've not had time to rehearse because everyone's been in lockdown.
Exactly, that's what I mean.
So it's very uncertain times for theatre, which is not great.
No, but
Mel, what's your opinion on all this?
Yeah,
I mean, I guess I personally don't keep up on any news at all. I just kind of go with the flow of things. Obviously, like when I first found out, like when Beach was like shutting down and stuff, I was like, oh my god, wait, what? Because my mum was talking about taking me to go see it, and that was kind of damaged a little bit. But then after that, my theatre was shutting down, and I was filming in it, because I had used it for like 4 years for like when I was doing shows and stuff. But I was using it to like help them with like money and stuff, by renting them out because I was doing a film with the BBC.
Oh wow, that's so cool.
and then we couldn't. Well, it's finished, but we couldn't get it finalised. Everything. So now, I don't know what's happening. The theatre's shut. I don't know what's going to happen with theatre, and it's kind of like it is really sad because I don't know what's happening with it, and there's no news because there's like nobody that's bothered to like tell anybody what's going on with it.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's kind of the one I've grew up with as well, because wherever I've stayed in my life, it's always been the closest one to me, and the place really means a lot. So I'd hate anything happening to it financially, because of all this.
Yeah, exactly. Which is that's really difficult. I mean, I hope that people
Absolutely.
within, if they've bought any like tickets to shows there, that they can try to, like, instead of getting refunds, donate what they've got, or, you know, hopefully, I mean, hopefully it pulls through. I'm very sorry. There's so much shit with that. On a more positive thing, what I do appreciate of the lockdown and theatre's response to that and the community of that is the now newfound accessibility of stream productions online and old things.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. And like even Chichester Festival Theatre, which I think I talked about in another episode about, they did Flowers for Mrs. Harris. That's now gone because it was up for a month, but it was gorgeous. And I had seen that production like once, and then it was like gone forever because it's not super well known or whatever. And then they released archive footage, and like there's so much that people will either never get to see just because they didn't get the chance, or because they can't afford it, or because they have sensory processing issues, so they may not be able to be in a theatre environment, but they still appreciate it as an art form. And there's so little catering to that outside of lockdown. So I see it's so necessary that they do it now as well to keep people engaged, and also to have donations available for like watch our stream and donate. But I love that it's also, hopefully after this, people will think more about theatre accessibility as a general rather than just while it's like inherently in peril. But it's great to see that people, that there are now like recordings and people can still enjoy theatre in that regard. Like there's a million different live stream concerts. Like it's people are still, despite this super uncertain time, whether you were in a thing or whether you were looking for work or whether you know, like I said, theatre's probably the last thing to be open, and people know that. So people still working really hard to create stuff and to put stuff out into the world and keep going. Like we love, you know, cheesy, but the show must go on. Like it's a nice feeling to see that happening when you're all just like, well, what the hell's going on? But there's some very much some niceness in that.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
So,
have you guys been watching any particular stream stuff that you guys have been enjoying for theatre or for live streams or whatever?
Well, I don't have a theatre one that I've been enjoying because annoyingly, well, not annoyingly, in an amazing ton of events, I am still working. I'm working from home, but it means that I don't have much free time to do things, and I tend to just be catching up on TV when I'm not. But there is a music live stream I watch every single day that it's on. Sometimes it's never on until Sunday, and sometimes not on a Wednesday. But it's my favourite musician called Joe Stilgo. He was in High Society at I think it was the Old Vic.
And
he's been and he's been in like Guys and Dolls and things like that. But he's mainly a jazz musician, and he does a daily live stream every day, 1 p.m. on Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, and then 8 p.m. on a Wednesday and Saturday. And I would highly recommend, because they're so cool. You can just send him requests and he will just jam away and do what he can, which is pretty awesome.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
And also,
highly recommend it.
Have you know with the I don't know if any of you guys have seen something with the Old Vic, but they normally have like a neon sign that says the name of the show. So like the last one was well, God knows, I can't remember, but it was with the Daniel Radcliffe and Ellen and
Endgame, was it?
And that one was cut short. They've got this new neon sign that says "We'll be back," and it hurts my soul, but it's also really, really sweet. That they did that.
That's super cute.
I know.
That's really sweet.
I love that so much.
I know. So like I've seen some people walking.
Optimistic. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's good, that's what I mean. Like, the theatre community is being wonderfully optimistic right now. Because you have to be. Like, you've got to be. Because otherwise it's just not great, is it? You know? You just got to be like, we'll pull together, and there's enough people that bloody love this, and there's people like us who are sitting down every week and making a fucking podcast about it. And doing live streams, and, you know, like, there's people, and there's so many people beyond just us, and hopefully people listening, that agree, and just like, this is, as well as, especially for me and for a decent amount of us, like, theatre is such a massive part of our lives, and whether you see a lot, or if you don't, or if you just love it, or even if you were impacted by something you saw when you were 10, you know, like, it's a very common thing to sort of, that can join a lot of people, even if right now it's not happened, like, because it is the mass gathering of people. It's not the best thing to be a career in now.
Yeah.
But
did you see the video? Not the video. Sorry, the pictures of a theatre in Germany that's had a trial reopening with social distancing, where it's basically like 4 seats in between each person. A theatre that usually has a capacity of 1,000 with just under 200 people in it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and they took a picture from the stage, and genuinely, I don't act on stage, but I imagine that looking out and seeing like 4 people a row would be much more horrifying than seeing a full theatre, right?
Yeah.
That makes it too personal.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because also, like, a lot of shows, like sketch stuff or any formation of theatre, a lot of the time starts in like a pub thing, and that's usually the scariest thing to do when there's like just like 10 people in the whole thing, or like 3 people watching, you know, like Edinburgh, like if you have a new Edinburgh startup show and nobody gives a shit, like 3 people are there and you just have to like give your all, which is unsurprising as to why we're now so optimistic as theatre people, because you look at the face of 3 people who do not care, and you are doing something that you worked your ass off to do, and a show that may be good or maybe not, and you just have to perform it right at them, and I love that energy. Yeah. But wait, so okay, I understand the distancing of the 4 seats, but surely when you all walk in, is it like you have somebody at the door that's then like, you go in, because otherwise then you're just like huddling past each other in the small aisle, or like, was there any information on that? Because it's like, how do you get in socially distanced?
I imagine it would be like one at a time. The picture didn't really show much. It did show an usher that was like showing someone to a seat, I think. But everyone had masks on, and everyone was, as I said, like a couple of seats apart.
Okay.
Which,
no, it's like a small detail to the fact that even if they did do it, they can't guarantee that people are going to continue distancing inside it. You know, like they go to the toilet and stuff, or like inside the toilet.
Yeah, exactly. There's weird stuff like that. I think that's an interesting trial thing, because obviously theatre is really suffering right now, but it's a very, very difficult thing to maintain, especially with how theatre is built. It's inherently an intimate thing of you being in an audience surrounded by people and, you know, walking around. Yeah, it's like a very close proximity, but yeah, that's super weird. And also, it's, if everybody's wearing masks, like, if you're, as an audience member, how fucking scary is that? Like, one person, then 4 seats, like, it's all very calculated, isn't it? Like, 1 person, 4 seats, 1 person, and then wearing masks. You can't see them smiling or laughing, and they're just like, their dead eyes, just staring at you.
Absolutely terrifying.
Yeah,
I mean, I went out shopping wearing my mask for the first time a couple of days ago, and you know, the like customer service nod where you look at someone else who you know who works in customer service, and you have that knowing smile and nod of, I know you're probably having a bad day. I also know what that feels like, so I'm going to be as nice as possible to you. I couldn't do it because the mask was in the way, so I just I caught myself just staring awkwardly at random Tesco's employees, and I was like, I'm sorry, like, I'm smiling at you, but you can't tell because I have a mask on.
Just like, yeah, I mean, because also on a more serious note with the masks, I've seen that, which was not something I immediately thought of, but it's interesting because there's people who rely on lip reading to communicate.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
People. So like, that is so weird and shitty, as well as like at a time where nobody's really supposed to be interacting. But like, if you need something, or if people are going to be like curt with you or being a dick to try and get around you or something, and you just can't understand them with that. Like, it presents its own, as well as just people not loving being away from people for so long. Like, there's other serious things that, like, it's weird to adjust around, because it's all very, it's like, it's it's a weird feeling of everybody walking around in masks. But what's such bullshit is people like still going to like parks. Did you see? And people protesting this. Yeah. Like, I mean, we knew they were stupid. We know these, okay, not typically Republican people, who are gathering, and they're like, oh my god, Trump, and it's like, shut up. And then they want to protest the virus, but it's like, we're not gonna even. Now we don't have time to get into all of that. But like, unpack all of it. But it's like, there's so much hypocrisy in some of the stuff that they're saying, because they're like, we can't be caged, and then they're like, they support ICE, and it's like, oh really? Okay, what? Healthy people being caged is not what you're for? Well, then maybe free the thousands of immigrants that you have literally in cages. So like, stupid. When also these people, not that they're inherently rich or well off, but their house is probably a bit better than a barred cage with a bunch of people separated from your families. Like, you're in a house, just stay in the fucking house. Like, just stay.
It's really not that hard to stay inside.
No.
I don't understand.
No. I mean, because it's difficult, because people are missing funerals, people are missing their weddings, people are missing their friends, their family, people's mental health is deteriorating, and they're still staying the fucking side. Or if they have to go outside, or they have to see their friends, literal social distance measuring, and like, that is fair enough. But they're not being twats like some of these like people who still want a spring break, and they're just like, oh my god, no, everybody's gonna get the virus, and it's like, bud, I hope you get it first, and I hope you just shut up and just like stay home. Like, it's because as long as we do that, that is like the one thing we're being asked, and it's just like, suddenly when that's being asked, then we're like, well, now I don't want to stay inside, and it's like, nobody wants to, but just like because everybody's always like, oh my god, I love cancelling my plans and not going out with friends, and as relatable as that might be at the time, now suddenly when we have to stay inside, nobody wants to, like a little toddler that's just been told to do something, and you're like, well, no, I don't want to do it, like.
It's like, now Boris has said, oh, you can take as many walks as you want per day. I'm like, no, I won't leave the house at all. You can't beat me. Don't tell me what to do.
Yeah, Nicola is thinking about putting us in full lockdown, because she has raised the only outside to either get messages or to exercise. But people aren't taking it seriously here, and people are like, we could possibly just get put in a full lockdown in Scotland.
Oh shit.
So it's like,
it's so, this is such a whack situation. It's just people, because nobody's above these rules. Like, you're not above this, you can get this. Like, it's no longer proof of just being vulnerable people, no longer just being older people. Like, anybody can carry it, anybody can get it, and then if you're, like, God forbid, like, your parent got it and they were susceptible and you're just a twat and you've gone out disregarding of that. Because, like, a friend of mine, I'm not going to call out who they are, but their sister, like, went out and was hanging out with friends right before stuff was happening, and also after some things were, like, basically don't go out, and then they got sick, and then they nearly got their mother sick, and then it's like, whoa, and they live in a house with a family of people, and you are isolated together, and when you've been an idiot and you've gone out and put the rest of your family's lives at risk, like, just don't.
Don't do it. Stop.
Exactly.
Yeah. Stop it. Get some help.
Exactly. Stop it. Get some help. Exactly. Anyway, we're moving on. Next up, as always, we have Attic Chat. So first, we have a few questions that we ask each guest every week. So to begin with, Mel, how did you enter the world of cosplay?
I mean, I think it was honestly just on a whim, because I saw that we were having Comic-Con MCM in Scotland for the first time. And I was like, oh, this looks really cool, because me and my friend were like really interested in anime then. I was like, oh, this could be really good, we should go. And like I went on the website and I seen all these people in cosplay, and I was like, wait, oh my, is this like a Halloween event? Because I don't know what's going on. Because I'd never really cosplayed before. And then my friend told me what it was, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. So like I like scrapped together like stuff I had in the house and done I think it was it's a guy with white hair in the original Yu-Gi-Oh series, and it's like possesses the other teenager child. But I went as one of the Yu-Gi-Oh characters, and it was an absolute blast. And I've been cosplaying ever since then. I think that must have been before 2015. I think I've been doing this for 6 or 7 years. But like since then, all my cosplay and like how good I do stuff is just completely developed. Because not gonna lie, I looked like a dirty rag the first time I cosplayed, which was the worst. But hey ho.
I mean, everyone learns, right? You have to. If you start off perfect, there's nowhere to go. And the whole fun of cosplay, at least for me, is learning and improving and getting better and seeing, oh, that cosplay I did a couple of years back, I could probably do that better now. Let's try it.
Exactly. Yeah. Improving. Practice.
Mel, do you have any funny stories from your time in cosplaying?
Oh god. I was at Comic-Con I will say it was one of my worst costumes, but I was done Deadpool Red Hood, but it was like a moment in my life where I like didn't care a lot about stuff. So I was like, Joe, I'm just gonna go, whatever, I don't care. But this is like the one moment that totally changed everything. I was just walking down this they had like big red carpet thing in the con, and I was just walking down it, and all I heard behind me was pylon. I suddenly got smacked onto the floor, like my ass was tackled onto the floor. Jeez. And then suddenly Spider-Man, like a bunch of Spider-Man and Deadpools were tackling me at the floor, and I was like, oh my god, no. But I ended up just laughing so hard because everyone was just missed themselves laughing, and I'm like, oh my god, what is going on?
That is chaotic, but also that's like low-key assault.
But like it happens so much, but everyone just stopped caring. But I even joined in. Like it was so bad. But I guess like when you come to MCM Scotland, it's just like we're just like we may not know each other, but we'll just be like, yo, here, like come here, like we'll just get along with everyone. You don't know anyone. So like it's not, I guess, it is assault, but like in the moment because it's funny, it seems alright, and it's like, do you know what? Whatever. It's just like that kind of thing. Sure. Oh man.
All right. Cool. Well, it's a community. It's a newly entered community of people that like, especially if you have a visual thing of like, hello, I am in a cosplay, and then somebody can come up to you and be like, I like that, I know this, and then that's immediate conversation rather than just being like, hi, do we have shared interest? You know, like it's like immediate visual. Absolutely. Like I know what you're on about.
Yeah. So, Mel, do you have any advice that you could give to someone who wanted to start cosplaying?
I mean, personally myself, I'm always still looking for advice because I know I can always improve no matter like how good I think I've got. I'm still always like, I could still do this better, I could still improve on this, because there's no really such thing as perfect to me. You just got to keep doing your best. And honestly, I think when you're making cosplay, sometimes you can fall out of it and feel like you're not doing well. So all I can really say is always keep that kind of positive attitude. Even if your cosplay, like, oh, maybe it's falling apart or whatever, just always keep a positive attitude, and maybe even like try and stay in character to keep yourself up. Because honestly, the cosplay is just half of like the thing. It's like your personality that really like puts it through. Yeah. And you just got to keep staying positive and stuff for it.
That's good advice.
Absolutely, yeah, positivity's a good one.
Exactly, yeah, because it's something that is, you know, for fun. So people don't need to be so hard on themselves. Okay, so this week I wanted to ask about what films and by the way, I'm for the audio listeners, which is everyone, it's a podcast. Oh, I am balancing a weighted bag puss on my head because
I forgot to bring my bag puss in here. He's in another room.
Do you go get bag puss?
Go get bag puss.
Go get bag puss. I'll relay the
Yes.
question to you when you get back. This week, I wanted to ask about what films and TV shows everybody's been watching, or any recommendations they may have.
Cool. Well, last week I had a suggestion, and then since then I've watched another TV show, so now I have 2 suggestions.
Oh, God.
So the first one, it's the next series of a thing. So if anyone has watched The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, they released a Choose Your Own Adventure episode, which is something Netflix hasn't done since Bandersnatch. And Bandersnatch, if you guys haven't played it, go play it. It's amazing. It's the Black Mirror Choose Your Own Adventure. It's horror, it's games, it's great. But they did a Kimmy Schmidt one, and it's comedy, and it's got Daniel Radcliffe, it's got John Hamm, and it's obviously got the lady who plays Kimmy, I cannot remember her name, Ellie Kemper, is that her name?
I think so.
But yeah, it's just amazing. Definitely watch it. It's a lot of fun, and you can make Daniel Radcliffe do a lot of weird stuff. I'll let you discover out what that weird stuff is.
Oh, yeah,
yourselves.
baby!
Wait, what?
And then
Okay.
Oh my God!
and then
We were talking about TV shows and films and how the Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt released an interactive episode.
yes,
Okay.
with Daniel Radcliffe. I think one of the choices very early on is you can read a book, plan your wedding to Daniel Radcliffe, or
Yes.
just make out with Daniel Radcliffe.
Oh, great! Does he make out with?
Wonderful.
Does he make out with the camera? Is it like a POV thing?
No. So you're choosing for the character. So it's Kimmy Schmidt who is getting married to Daniel Radcliffe. So you can
great.
like plan the wedding or make them kiss. You know, why not? But yeah, absolutely great. And then the other one that I watched this week, and I'm rewatching it with my housemate. It's called Upload. You might have seen it on Netflix.
Yes.
It is so good. Its basic premise is that heaven is a place that you can download your consciousness to, and you can pay for like better heavens. And so there's a guy who, mild spoilers for the first episode, doesn't survive the first episode and gets uploaded to a version of heaven that is being paid for by his long-term girlfriend, because he cannot afford heaven.
That's very nice of her.
And it's just a great show, and it's like mystery and fun and comedy and kind of anti-capitalist awesomeness. So definitely go watch it. It's amazing.
Oh, I love that. That's a good recommendation.
That sounds great. Yeah.
Is it on Netflix?
Watch it. Yeah, Netflix. I think it's like 10 episodes. First episode's 45 minutes, but the rest of them are probably about 20 to 30 minutes. And yeah, I watched it in a day.
Oh, great. Perfect. I'm gonna go search that. Yeah, and anybody else got? Oh, sorry, Mel. Basically, film recommendations or any shows that you've gotten into that you would recommend people watch during lockdown.
I mean, I've been just kind of rewatching RuPaul's Drag Race.
Oh yeah.
Because all the stuff they do is just like really creative, and it gets me like inspired to do a lot of stuff. And it kind of boosts my morale when I'm like trying to do my own like, things and that, especially when I'm like making cosplay. So it's like a good kind of like thing to watch if you want to kind of get ideas for stuff and that. But I don't think I said it on this, but before we started, I like watched Sherlock Gnomes 3 times yesterday. So definitely go watch Sherlock Gnomes.
Yes.
Oh my god! If we were discussing this earlier, but just to clarify, Moriarty. Spoilers. Moriarty is a pie gnome. A pie gnome that carries his weapons in his pie body. And
I love him.
I mean, imagine taking a bite. I mean, obviously he's a gnome, so you're not going to bite the pie that he is. But imagine taking a bite of a pie and it's just a gun. Like what? Like the reality of this man.
Cunt.
Just vape? No. Pie gun. I don't. My consciousness is drifting away. Anyway, but yeah, Moriarty, pie Moriarty gnome, pie Moriarty gnome is terrifying. But go watch it. I haven't seen it, but I saw some clips of it, and I hate him, and I love him, and I want to smash him to pieces. Yeah. Anybody else got other stuff, or we good?
Shalom.
Yeah, the new season.
Friday night dinner is my life right now. For the last 4 weeks, it's been Friday night dinner and then Gogglebox. Friday night dinner's finished. It was very sad to see the series end.
The last episode was so sad. It was an amazing episode, but just...
Yeah. But then Gogglebox is full of amazing personalities of the people in the UK, and it's brilliant.
Yeah, Gogglebox, it's weird how long it's continued, because I love it as a concept of the idea of watching people watch TV, but surely after a point that gets old. But apparently not. Apparently it's an amazing concept that they still love and people still watch. And, kudos to the producer that came up with that one, because that's such a unique idea and I love it.
Oh yeah, hell yeah. I'm
going to go watch Gogglebox after the record of this episode.
Amazing.
Nice. What I would, I don't know why I didn't immediately think of this, what I would highly recommend, not only have I been rewatching Sherlock, but I'm watching League of Gentlemen and Inside Number 9, and I'm gonna start.
Yes, Inside Number 9.
Yes, baby. I cannot say this loud enough, but I won't do that again. Inside Number 9 is amazing. I watched that first. I don't know. It doesn't really matter whether you watch League of Gentlemen first or Inside Number 9 first. I quite enjoyed watching Inside Number 9 first because it's more serious, and then you see them dressing up as women and doing the most heinous and disgusting and brilliant stuff in League of Gentlemen, which I like. And of course, especially if you, like me, have also just rewatched Sherlock, seeing Mark Gatiss in League of Gentlemen after that is wonderful, because it's just a whole other world to Mycroft. And it's, they're such brilliant and accomplished actors. And basically Inside Number 9 is these standalone little things that they write that all of them take place inside a Number 9, like a Number 9 apartment, a house, whatever, like a mansion.
Floor 9.
Floor 9.
Hotel 1.
Oh, Zanzibar, babe. Reece Shearsmith is a very beautiful man, and him in Zanzibar, particularly, very nice. Very nice.
Very nice.
Very nice.
Very nice.
No, he's absolutely gorgeous. And also, in League of Gentlemen, he's really, really pretty. This man ages so well, because League of Gentlemen was nearly 20 years ago now. And it's what? And he's aged like fine wine, that man. So have all of them. All of them have aged so very well. Good for them. And it's just really silly and funny. And then League of Gentlemen is like a bunch of different characters, and they're pretty much all played by the three main writers, but not Jeremy Dyson, who is another writer on the show, but he doesn't really act in it. He has a few cameos. But they are based in Royston Vasey, and it's all these funny characters, great skit show, and a cool plot as well. It's on BBC iPlayer and on Netflix, and they've got all the specials on iPlayer and most of it on Netflix. And Inside Number 9 season up to season 4 is on Netflix, and season 5 is on iPlayer. For some reason, I don't know why season 5 isn't on Netflix yet. And then some additional special stuff that they did. I think the Halloween special was something I watched. That was a really good one. They did it live broadcast, and you'll see what I mean when you watch it. But that is gorgeous, and yeah, it's just really silly and fun, and a great one to really get into. And then Psychoville is their other show that Reece Shearsmith and Steve Pemberton did, and which is 9 characters, I think, all played by Reece or Steve, and it surrounds the story of them in one town. But I think it's a bit more dark than League of Gentlemen. So it's like a mix of Inside Number 9 and League of Gentlemen, sort of they like to mix comedy and horror, sort of. And Inside Number 9 is more serious, a bit more serious, but still with some good comedy. Also, the episode Bernie Clifton's Dressing Room made me cry harder than I've ever cried ever. Ever. and
Amazing.
I love it, and it was so good, and I had to stare at a wall. I've never cried, and I've had, you know, like when somebody on a stage, their mother sees their child like die, and they're like, ah, and they like wail. I have never done that when I've cried. You just kind of cry. I wailed at that episode, and my friend was on call with me because we were watching it. Like, oh, let's watch Inside Number 9 on call. Wouldn't it be great? And they they knew. They had seen it. They knew that I was going to do it. And then I just was like, like a whale. Like, I could sing you to sleep with my whale noises. Like, it was ridiculous. But please watch it. That was, like, the only really, really sad one. But it's very, 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 very good. Anyway, if that doesn't convince you, I don't know.
Absolutely.
I don't know what the hell will. Go and watch it. It's so very clever, and a lot of, like, plot twists and great characters
Nice.
for like 30-minute episodes of amazing plot development for such a short time.
Amazing. Charlie, did you have anything?
I do. I mean, talking about episodes that just make you sob. I was rewatching Torchwood. I think I said this a couple of weeks ago. Not giving like too many spoilers here, but the character that I absolutely love, he dies in one episode, and I just refuse to keep on watching it from there on.
Oh no.
Miracle Day is trash anyway. Nobody cares about Miracle Day.
Yeah, apparently they go to America or something. I haven't actually watched past the episode that I've stopped at, and I don't plan on doing it because there's only one remaining character. Jack is the only one left at the end of it, I think. Actually, no, Gwen's there still.
Yeah, Gwen's still there.
But she has a baby now, and, you know, leave her out of Torchwood for a bit.
Wasn't there like a Torchwood reboot, and it didn't have Jack in it at the start, but it was like all these other people couldn't die, and it was like really gory for some reason.
That's Miracle Day.
Was
Day,
it? Oh, sorry.
Which is series
So I didn't.
4?
Series 4,
I think Children
yeah.
of series 3. But yeah, no spoilers, but it takes away Jack's core premise, and it really sucks.
Ew, gross.
No.
Sometimes just
I've also
ignore
been
it.
watching back from, I can't remember why I started watching these. I think it was I had a really bad day or something, and James told me, go watch some things from when you were a kid. Well, I started watching Am I High again? And it's the
God.
funniest thing.
I love that show.
I think most of the episodes are on YouTube, and they're just the funniest thing. I don't understand how, like, as a child, I didn't find them this funny. Now, watching it, they're just walking along school. They're pencil dings, and they're like, quick, we gotta go into the supply cupboard. And no one seems to think anything's wrong with this. Like, okay,
Yes,
these guys just go hang out in the supply cupboard for like an hour at a time each.
Spoilers, I guess. Spoilers, I guess, if you want to go and watch that. But see, when I found out the mole was like his dad, oh my God, I was shocked for a good hour at least. I was like, oh my God, what?
Oh. The amount of things that you can go back and watch of your like childhood, like I love rewatching Disney stuff. Like that's not inherently stupid, but some of them they put in like a bit of adult humor in and I love that you like revisit that, and it's just so funny that you may not have gotten it before, because also you're just sitting there and staring at the screen when you're like a baby and you're just like you don't have the emotional intelligence for that. Also, like Hunchback of Notre Dame, which is one of my favorite Disney films, I think it is my favorite, is like really fucking dark, man. Like, but it's so good.
I rewatched it the other day and spent the whole time being like, how was this allowed to be a kid's film?
I love it. Well, it's less dark than the original, which is like way more brutal, but like
of course,
but still, woof. Also, Bagpuss. Mel went to go get the Bagpuss, and now we both have Bagpuss. Yours is more of a saggy old cloth cat. Mine is like a heatable plushie, but I love both of you. Got a big boy. And
Mine is really old because it's not actually mine. It's my mum's from when she was a kid.
But that's perfect.
Just gonna
So cute.
You
It
have
just sits around.
but that makes me so happy. You give him a cuddle. Give him a minute. Give him some of your time.
Has anyone realised I have a theory? Like the ultimate trifecta actor of shows, which if no one else is going to get, but on the picture Mel shown is me, Ben, and Charlie. All three of those shows all have the writers of each other.
Yes.
So, like Stephen Moffat and Russell T Davies,
Yeah, they do.
they've had a hand in all three shows. And Stephen Moffat only got to write Doctor Who because of Sherlock. And Matt Smith, who's the 11th Doctor, was auditioned to be Sherlock, which is funny. And then he got role of Doctor Who because they turned him down as Sherlock.
No way.
And then
hilarious.
Russell T Davies and Chris Chibnall, who do Torchwood. Russell T Davies brought back Doctor Who when Torchwood's a spin-off to Doctor Who. But then Chris Chibnall, who writes Doctor Who right now, was the main writer for Torchwood.
Oh,
I love that
The
so
Illuminati
much.
confirmed, because we're in a triangle and everything.
Yeah.
We are, but like,
Absolutely.
there's so much of film and theatre of people just knowing each other, because you see that of when you watch League of Gentlemen, sometimes they have like guests and stuff. So a lot of the Horrible Histories cast, they actually tend to come in inside number 9, but like they all know each other. So people that you tend to see doing comedy skit shows tend to do. They operate in similar circles, like they did some Edinburgh things, or they did some things in a pub and they created it and they built it from the ground up. So they know each other from like the circuit days, or from seeing each other on telly and then asking to be in each other's things. So much of it is this, like, as well as it being a fun community, like so much of you getting work can be like, oh, you know, I saw you do this and therefore I think you should do this. And it's like, it's so much fun. Yeah, there's,
I
and
missed
so
the
it ends up
original
being-
Horrible Histories cast.
Yes.
Talking about horrible history, sorry.
Yes,
The
go
new
on.
cast just doesn't have the
Oh,
same.
no, it
No,
absolutely
they're not
doesn't.
the
They've
same.
lost it all.
No.
Completely went downhill as soon as the cast left.
I haven't
But-
seen any of that. I didn't know there was a new thing, and I'm
They
probably
did
going to keep it
build
that way.
them.
It's not
They
worth
did.
knowing about it.
They did a little spin-off movie called Bill, which is quite good.
The
It's
one-
got all the original cast in it.
The one you do need to know about, though, if you are a fan of Horrible Histories, is Ghosts.
That's what I was going to
Yes.
say. Yeah,
I
Ghosts.
love
yeah,
that. Oh
yeah,
my
yeah.
god.
Good.
It's such
Like-
a good show.
It's horrible histories, but like 10 times better somehow.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I just love it. Apparently, they're making, or they've already made, season 2 of it.
Yes,
I
I
don't
am
know if
so
season
excited.
1's still up on iPlayer, but if it is, go watch it 'cause it's so good.
Absolutely.
Yes, yes.
So good.
Hell yeah.
Okay. So next up we have Otho's life lessons. This week's wisdom. This week's wisdom is quite a good wisdom, considering that we all kind of did this last week. So take time for yourself this week. I know isolation is all just time and more time with yourself, and it can get a bit boring just being there with yourself, but bear with me. Take time for yourself. So if stuff's difficult at home, or you're not feeling great or stressed or just bored or anything, take time to do something you actually really enjoy doing. I know I find myself in loops of just lying in bed going to sleep, which while at the time is like, I'm bored, I'm going to sleep, it's not helping you. So do something you enjoy, something creative, maybe cosplay, drawing, watch some TV, play some games, contact your friends, eat food you like, and just take time to be happy for you.
Yeah,
Not
Yeah.
just
exactly.
look after yourselves, guys.
I have two things that link to other life lessons. One, I think it was episode 5, we mentioned KFC and McDonald's, they're both back. Hallelujah.
Good for
I've
you
got
guys.
my chicken. And I've had KFC twice now. I'm sorry, I had it. Was it lunch today? It was lunch today. I had KFC. And then 2, I just want to bring something up. Is anybody else getting shadow banned by TikTok?
Yep.
Yes.
It's really
Yeah,
annoying.
yeah.
Yeah, they've shadow banned the hashtag cosplay.
Yep.
So I think it's just a case of using that. But it's really frustrating because it hit as soon as I hit 1K followers. So before then, I was getting like 300 plus views a video ish. Then I hit 1K, and my next like 4 videos hit 47 views, and I was like, "This is not how this works. That's not how math. That's not maths."
I mean, it's because now I'm nearly at like 8K, which I'm like, whoa. And to be honest, like this is, I look at it and I'm just like, oh, this, you know, statistics wise, I think I should be getting like 100 or something per video of likes, and then I get about 300 views at a more consistent basis on things and then like 30 likes or like 15 or like I get that for some of the stuff that I post that is like weirdly specifically niche, like me and very specific clown cosplay at 3 a.m. like fair enough. But like every now and then some weird video I do gets like 200 or like 1,000 or something. But like yeah, I don't know, like TikTok is also is so weird. The algorithm and the math does not make sense. It's just like
I did Phantom stuff yesterday, and it's not even hit, like most of them haven't even hit 100, and it's really depressing.
Yeah.
And like, have everyone seen the video I put up today with all like the wipe it down challenge with all the different characters?
Yeah.
That took like 3 hours, and it's not even getting like 100 views, and it's been up for at least 6 hours. So TikTok, stop shadow banning me. I just want the views. Come on.
Yeah, exactly, because it's not
even children.
Exactly, because it's like they're not letting people see it. It's not that it's a proof of people don't like the content. It's like people do, but they're not. People just aren't fucking seeing it as much, which is annoying. But also, they were literally proved to be like pretty racist and sexist and like fatphobic. Not about any of that, but like also now they're against like cosplayers and just like people who express themselves or who are different and are not just like the straight side of TikTok that do the same dances over and over again. And if that's you, vibe with that. Like go and do you. But like it's so weird because there's like a lack of them really giving a shit about people who put a lot of time into content. Like stuff you put time into never gets as many likes as something that you make offhandedly. Like literally a fucking video of me killing a roach the other day. There was like a mayfly or something on the floor, has now got 126 likes, and then all of my Mr. Jelly stuff that was me at 3 a.m. took very, very long to learn because it's a long script of ums and ahs and stuff like that, as well as it's an original sound, so I get that, but it's got like 10 likes, and it's like, alright, okay, I see how it is. It's like, they just like, yeah, it's so weird.
It's frustrating.
But again, that's the thing of, we need to be like, back to the message of like doing cosplay or even just content to for yourself, really. Like I think that's just being like, oh, I made something, and doing that as a way of like, I have made something, I'm proud of myself for making something, and trying as much as possible, even though it is quite actually hard, to not rely on like not feel shit from not getting as many likes as you might want or deserve, to be honest.
There's like these massive verified users that TikTok has in like the palm of the hand, and they send them like slippers and stuff. So surely you want people to see our content so you can pay for those slippers that you're sending to people.
Can they send
me
slippers?
Yeah, right?
I'd
like slippers and stuff.
Hello, TikTok. We would like some slippers, please.
No, but there are ways to like increase views on other people's things. So like if you see it on the For You page, you should like watch it till the end before you like it, and definitely share things to spread reach. Like there's a button you can literally just share and click copy the link, so you don't have to share it to anyone, but that straight away increases the reach from TikTok.
Absolutely. I mean, a thing I've been doing as well recently that helps, I hope, is that if I'm like brushing my teeth, or I'm doing something where I've just been scrolling my phone on TikTok, because I'm always on TikTok, if I find a video that is like a Friends or something, I'll just take my headphones out, leave it playing the video, and it'll play the video like maybe 20 times or something. And I don't know if it like adds personal views. I don't know whether it will count every time I've watched it, but it'll at least see that people are rewatching it, and that might help as well.
Yeah, that adds like the view time to it, which TikTok likes apparently.
Well, yeah, like keeping, because also attention span is very, as well as with this being like a 15-second app medium, if you can actually get somebody to sit through your 15 seconds, or in a lot of my cases, I like to make like monologue stuff and test my acting and memory and stuff, and do 60-second stuff or longer things, then the amount of times, if you actually watch that all the way through, and those are the ones that take longer to do, it's really nice if people share and support that. Because I've seen a lot of cosplay stuff, and it's very nice because I tend to post all my stuff at once. Like if I do Moriarty, I post it all straight away, because I don't like keeping drafts for some reason, or just having it in one thing I like, and then people go through and they spam like it. It's very nice, but I just saw that like you said, like you need to like hopefully watch it all the way through, because then it means that TikTok can view it as people just like giving you likes but not actually wanting to see your content, so therefore they'll show it them less, or like some weird logic. But
Yeah.
Yeah, I really don't understand the algorithm, but
and also
wow.
and also the thing of like the only black creators should post on one day, which I entirely support. But it was weird because I didn't even see that until the day. And then somebody
same.
commented on my... I'd seen people doing the Black Power symbol as their profile picture, and I was like, great. But then somebody commented on my thing after I'd already posted a few times today, and then one of the more recent ones, not today, but when it was, and they were like, oh, you shouldn't be posting black creators, and I was like, oh, okay, I didn't know about that, but I was like mid-posting something else, so I was like, oh, I'll post that and then I'll leave it. And then like my post the day after that was just reminding people to continuously support black creators and fight for equality, not just with your profile picture, but also with your words and your actions. Like, that's probably more important. But also, we should definitely be doing stuff like that. But it's weird because, like, I didn't even see that. And so, like, people were just posting because you don't know, because TikTok was literally, like, not inherently all the time, even though that was mainly just black people posting that day. Some people just genuinely, like me, probably just didn't know. And then you find out.
I absolutely, I didn't see it until, like, the day after. And I saw your post, Ben, saying... it shouldn't just be one day, it should be kind of keep supporting and everything. And I was like, yeah, absolutely. When was the day, though? Because I missed it.
Exactly. So, like, it's so clear that that's being suppressed. So I like that we're trying to take action against it, but, like, it's so crazy, because it's a totally fair enough thing to ask of, like, just don't post today. And, you know, or just, like, you know, and then it wasn't even given as much reach, just because they've inherently got some problematic stuff. And I saw, you know, there are also like some homophobia and some icky of what they show on the For You page. But I don't condone that whatsoever. But also TikTok is such a like good, like a healthy thing for me to do, to like not like sort of a coping mechanism, but just like a creative outlet of like, because for cosplayers especially, like. Because you sit there, you make something, you do a makeup, you make an outfit. Like, I spent, like, 2 whole weeks making, like, a custom Pinocchio jacket thing that I haven't made many videos with, but, like, it took me a lot of time. And you make a video and you go, there is a reason for this. Like, I've made this for myself, but also now there's some content out there, and I feel good about doing that. And then somebody else may see it, and they may not, but, like, it's a good thing. But it's a shame that there's so much iffiness going, and also just people being shitty sometimes. Like, there was somebody, I think I just duetted somebody being like, oh, you eat so many calories, that's why you're fat. But it was like out for no reason. He was just saying that apropos of nothing, and I was like sitting there making my cup of tea, which was the only thing I've apart from like a bowl of pasta that I've eaten today. And I was like, oh, okay, shut the fuck up. Like, you are mean for no reason. And also some people, especially in isolation, people are not going through the best time, so like don't make people feel guilty for giving their body what it needs, which is food, you know. Absolutely. Like it's basic human fuel. So I hope what I like is people like us and doing the nice things of like sharing and be kind to one another, because be kind to yourself, but just like it takes like no effort to either just not say anything or just be like, hey, you look great, or like I like your cosplay, or support it, or watch it, like be like Perry rewatching it, or share it. Like, I would highly encourage everybody is to the best of your abilities to do that and just be nice.
Yeah, this isn't about like sharing stuff, but do not, I repeat, do not search your TikTok name in Google. I did it today because I got so bored. The stuff I have been tagged in on like Tumblr and stuff, for no reason that I never knew existed. There's like hashtags of like each cosplayer's name, and there's like full like pages of the TikTok algorithm like diverted to each person's account, and I've been going through mine and stuff. Don't do it.
Okay, I'm doing it.
You will be so confused. You will not understand.
What? Because one thing. I googled my username and
pictures on Google and stuff. It's terrifying.
Yeah, I have one thing of... I mean, it's not surprising because it's a thing, but for some reason, they keep switching between... Okay, so that's also weird, because I can see my TikTok feed on the Safari, but it's like, oh, you can find Ben's videos on da-da-da, and that's how many followers he's got. And yeah, it's like... I think that's just, like, profile stuff, but... What the hell? Yeah, this is weird. I mean, I've Googled it before because I think it was something about, like, Google your TikTok username and see what first photo comes up, but then there's articles that come up. I don't know why there's so many. There's like a Pinterest. There's some other username. There's a TripAdvisor.
There's a TripAdvisor. What?
Oh, that's not me. That's just somebody with the same username, which I don't know what. But I was about to be like, somebody made me a TripAdvisor. Where are they taking me? Oh my god. That would be a nice surprise. Yeah, that's weird, but yeah, I mean, you know, it's all of your stuff is online. That's also why people shouldn't be posting stuff that they are super don't want out there. So don't do anything stupid, especially if you're a minor on this app, and you know, just be careful about what you post. Have fun, but also that's why I love when people post really stupid stuff or racist stuff, and then their lives get ruined, and it's like, good.
Yeah.
Good, you're an arsehole. Like, you know, I mean, that's another topic for another day about, like, generalization of cancel culture, but when you're genuinely just being an arsehole, then it's good that people will have recorded evidence of your stuff and that have consequence quite quickly.
Absolutely.
Which is why that's why I encourage people to just be nice and positive and don't be a dick. Is the motto of life and TikTok and everything.
I'd say that's an Otho life lesson, but I don't think Otho himself has followed that advice.
No.
So.
No, exactly. But Otho also promotes like cults. And,
yeah,
like,
Otho is not an unproblematic faith.
Exactly. But yeah.
Anyways,
on that note,
that brings us to the end of today's episode. So where can we find everyone online? So I am always for Rats in a Trench Coat. That's the number 4, and then Rats in a Trench Coat. That's Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, places. Matty?
Matty Cosplay Show on Instagram and Facebook.
I am now foolish_cos on Instagram and TikTok because I had enough being, rebrand.
Well, you are a fool, so we love that.
Exactly.
Great.
It's very on brand for me.
That's good. Mine is Benedictalk because I'm so funny. Benedict. Okay. Oh, I've never spelled it like that.
You had to spell it out
that.
for people that have been listening to 7 episodes and not got it yet.
Well, maybe they start at episode 7 because it starts at the top. It's not inherently a linear. These are reasonably standalone, but yes, Benedictalk. Benedictalk. I'm just giving my TikTok because that's the only thing that's probably interesting content. The rest of my stuff is just. There you go.
We want to say a big thank you again to Mel for joining us this week. So Mel, where can people find you online? I don't know why I said it like that.
No, I love it.
I'm tired. I need sleep.
Performance.
Sorry, Nico. I thought somebody was saying something. Sorry.
No, Mel. What is your username? Where can people find you online?
On Instagram, I go by _male_wear_. On TikTok, I'm at Lawrence Shaguth and maleware.art, and I'm also on Facebook. I have a company called Maleware Mascot, so if you're in Scotland and need a mascot, then hit me up.
Oh, that's sick.
Cool.
Oh, look at you being accomplished. Well done.
Thank you. I have extra special thank you to Mel for doing some amazing art of all of us. The cosplay squad that has been sat behind me on the video this whole time.
It's so good.
We will, if Mel says we can, we will post it on our Instagram and just show it off because it is amazing.
Yes, baby. Of course.
Yes,
Yes, baby. You got to say it like that, baby. On the up note, you spell it with an E at the end, baby.
Baby.
I say that way. I've also started saying bruh now, like baby and bruh. I like my thing. I go, oh my god, bruh. Like I don't know why. I'm not like some frat boy, but like, you know, it is what it is. It's my line. We just
no, I didn't actually say half of my line, sorry.
Oh no, Charlie, continue. Go on.
As always, you can find the podcast on Instagram, Facebook, and listen to it on YouTube, Spotify, and SoundCloud at the Neitherworld podcast. So please do that. Yeah.
We still don't know how we're pronouncing it. We spell it Neitherworld, but each week we just switch our pronunciations.
Exactly.
It's so fun.
Doesn't really matter. I'll find us eventually.
I think they understand the pun. We just want to thank everyone here who's been listening and supporting the podcast. This is all for, you know, our own amusement as well. This is bloody fun. It's nice to see you guys. And that's just a little side thing. I love you guys. But yeah, this is a load of fun, and if anybody's listening, that's so cool because we are just really funny and interesting. So like, you should be.
Of course.
So have a great week. Goodbye from me, Ben.
My Matty.
Me, Charlie.
And me, Perry.
Bye everyone.
Belle, say goodbye.
Oh, bye. This is...